Our guest today is Michael Sweet. Michael Sweet is the acclaimed singer, songwriter, and frontman for the multi platinum rock band Stryper. He has a new solo album out right now called The Master Plan via Frontiers Music. Michael Sweet's website is michaelsweet.com, and Stryper's website is, of course, stryper.com. Michael Sweet, welcome to the Bruce Collins Show.
Great to be here, buddy. Thanks for having me. I'm getting too lazy in my old age. I wear this hat all the time. I don't even bother with my hair anymore like the 80s, you know? So my apologies for that.
Well, at least you have hair. I always tell people this right here. I used to be a somersault champion. But Michael, let's talk about the new album, The Master Plan. How is this new album different from a Stryper album?
Well, it's very different. I mean, and that's, a good thing from my perspective, but it could be a bad thing from certain fans' perspectives. It's not a metal album. It's not a hard rock album even. It's got some rock elements to it on a few songs, but for the most part, it's just an easy listening, inspirational, lay back and relax and throw this album on, and you can listen to it all the way through. It's not going to jolt you and energize you to go to the gym or anything like that. It's definitely a kind of a kickback relaxation. Sit by the fire, and listen to this album. And it's an album I've wanted to make for a long time, just to encourage people, offer hope to people through the lyrics, through the message, and through the melodies as well, and the music, and just something that could hopefully make people feel better.
Mhm. When you step back from the master plan as a whole and you look at it now, what themes emerge?
Oh gosh, I mean, first of all, I'm surprised and shocked in the best of ways that it's even out. For a while, I never thought it would be released or see the light of day because it. I made this album during COVID,
Huh.
and it just got put on a shelf. And I couldn't pursue securing a release of any sort or any kind because once we stepped out of COVID, Stryper started to really become very busy again and become the priority as it should. And, I just kind of talked about it and that was it, about releasing it and dreamed about it. And it just sat and sat and sat. And then, here we are 6 years later and it's finally out with a real worldwide release. People get to hear it and hold it and smell it and read it and all that good stuff, and it's very very nice. But the whole goal with this album, again, is to offer something different for people, break the mold and not, give the same cliche. What I mean by that is Striper albums, there's similarities to those albums. They're very, you could listen to those back to back and you're going to hear the similarities in the production, the style, the approach, the delivery. But this album is not that. It's very unique, very different. It holds its own. It stands on its own, and that's a breath of fresh air for me, and I think for fans as well. So it's really cool to have this album out, see it become reality, and so far the reviews have been fantastic. People seem to like it.
Yeah, I love this album. Now, can you talk about some of the songs on the master plan? For me, again, having lost my mother was a particularly pertinent song, and of course, Lord and many others. But are any of them more personal for you than others?
I mean, to be honest with you, and not to cop out, but they're all personal. I mean,
Uh-huh.
the reason why is I've been thinking about this kind of an album, making this kind of an album for years. I'm talking going back to my early 20s. It's kind of in the back corner of my mind. Making an album that just really didn't have any rules or regulations and no stipulations from a label saying you got to do this, you got to do that. I did this album on my own. I co-produced it with Jeff Savage. I wrote all the songs myself, and I just didn't really care about uh, format or structure or how it had to be, or we got to stick to this or that. I didn't even think about that. I just did what I wanted to do. And because of that, every song is very special. Every song has its own unique signature, its own style, its own story. And again, is definitely very personable because we've all lost somebody close to us and near and dear to our hearts, and that there will always be a void. But that song hopefully will help people to, grasp on to hope in the sense that we're going to see them again. And I think when we really believe that with all of our hearts and souls and minds, that's a great feeling, knowing that and being secure in that, that someday we'll see our loved ones again. And I can't wait for that day. So that's what that song's all about. And a lot of people have really been blessed by that one in particular.
Uh-huh. So, Michael, how has your songwriting evolved when you look back to your entire work, your earlier work in particular?
I was just going through all the songs, transferring songs over from one company to another. And my wife, my daughter, and myself were going through them all. And there's a lot. It's a lot, hundreds of songs. And it's just mind blowing. I never sit down and stop and think about all the songs because I'm just constantly moving and in fast motion, fast pace, boom. And when I do stop and think about it, though, it's very humbling. God's given me this gift and ability to write songs. I don't know why. And when I sit down to write an album, it just starts flowing out, like the fountain just starts overflowing. And I have no explanation for that other than that's a gift from above. And I'm very pleased and blessed to have that. And there's, I hope, Lord willing, many more songs to come. My goal is to get to 500. I think I'm at 300 now, but we'll see how if that works out.
So, as someone who is a songwriter and you're also a musician, do you write a lot of lyrics years before you use them? I mean, do you have a file cabinet with lyrics?
I don't. Lyrics are, believe it or not, I don't want to say an afterthought, but lyrics are definitely secondary. It always starts with the music, starts with the riff, a guitar riff or a chord structure of a song. And then I sit with my drum program, Easy Drummer, on my computer, and I arrange the song. That takes a few hours. And once as I'm doing that, and once I get to that point of finalizing the arrangement, I'm humming a a melody in my head and sometimes an actual hook or title. And then once that I get to that point, I start breaking out my thesaurus, my rhyming dictionary, my Bible, all of that good stuff. And I start writing the lyrics and working on the lyrics. That's usually late at night in bed as Lisa's watching Forensic Files or something, and I'm working on lyrics.
Yeah. So, your voice has always been a defining part of your sound. As you get older and with more experience, do you approach it differently now?
I don't. I mean, from song to song, obviously, I know what I'm supposed to do or how I'm supposed to deliver that song or sing that song. If it's a real heavy track, obviously it's got to have a different personality. If it's a ballad, it's got to have a different personality. Emote a little more and try to tap into the emotion in that song. But I really don't give it a lot of thought. I just kind of roll with it and it all works out. People ask me all the time, hey, do you write specific to solo versus specific to Stryper? And I say, no, I don't. I just start writing and it comes out. Whatever's supposed to come out comes out. Now, if there's something I get hung up on that I don't like, I'll just shelve it. I'll literally put it away and start working on a new idea. And I don't like to waste time. I don't like to spin my wheels. I don't like to go lock myself away in a cabin in the woods for 6 months and work on 100 songs like a lot of bands do. I think it's a waste of energy. I just sit in my studio and I start writing, and it's a song a day. And after 11 days, there's 11 songs. And it's worked like that for album after album, year after year. And it's pretty amazing. And that's a God thing. It's not a Michael Sweet thing. That's for sure.
I have to ask you this one question. This is kind of a sidebar away from the master plan and even in directly away from Stryper, but there was a movie that I've only caught a couple of scenes of, to be honest, called Pain and Gain. And I have to ask you, Did Stryper have anything to do with that scene? It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. The song that the guy and the Rock end up singing is not a Stryper song.
No, I'll tell you the story behind that. They reached out to us, production, and they wanted Stryper to be a part of that scene, and they wanted to use a part of the song, and we were excited about that, but they didn't want to pay us to use a part of our song. So we said, no, that's not the way it works. You have to pay a licensing fee to use the
Right,
right to a song. Well, instead, they used our likeness, our name, even a bumper sticker, our logo,
right.
and then they sang some silly song to get out of paying the band. So that's what happened with that.
So there's no legal ramifications for someone doing that, or?
We looked into it, and quite honestly, it would have cost us a lot more time and effort and money, and for the strong probability that it wouldn't have turned into anything, and it just would have been a big waste, and we didn't even want to pursue it. We're busy, we've got things going on, and
Yeah,
whatever. They unfortunately they were unethical, and they did what they did, and it happens all the time. It's not right, but it happens all the time.
yeah. I mean, they really were. They were, I guess, making fun of Stryper, but really they were making fun of the fans. It was a guy that owned a gun shop, and there was a whole political thing there, I think, going on. So let's get back
Yeah,
on
because
track.
we all
Oh, go
know
ahead.
that Republicans and Christians are just a bunch of buffoons, and they're a bunch of morons and idiots. And I think I saw something today. The story of the day was Chong, the pot smoking character in Cheech and Chong, who smoked pot his entire life, said that if you own a gun, you're an idiot. And so yeah, I do own some guns, to be honest. So I guess
Yeah.
I'm a real big idiot. But it's just interesting how Christians most of the time are portrayed by Hollywood.
Uh-huh.
It's actually very pathetic, because all the Christians that I know are some of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. So I don't know. I don't know where they're getting that from, or what the agenda is, but I think we all do kind of know.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, getting back on track. The Master Plan, the new solo album from Michael Sweet. When people look back on your body of work, Michael, where do you think this album will sit?
Oh wow. Well, I hope it sits high on the list. So far, I've read numerous comments, not just one or two, but quite a few, from people saying they feel that this is my best solo album, and even it sits at the top of the list in terms of Stryper and solo. And I mean, it's very early in the game to run with that because the album just came out. People need time to process it and listen to it and really make up their minds. But so far, I think this was going to sit high on the list and do very well in terms of everything else that I've done. And humbly, I'm very proud of this album, and it's incredible how it turned out, because it almost didn't turn out,
Uh,
and it finally came out, and it really turned out well. I love how it sounds. Very easy on the ears. It's not a harsh listen. It's a very smooth, enjoyable listen. And sometimes the distorted guitars and the cymbals really start to wear on your ears. This is not one of those albums. This is one you can listen to any time of the day or night and not get that ear fatigue that you get with some other albums.
okay, great. And yeah, it's an excellent album. I can vouch for that. I want to ask you about Stryper before we go, but the first question, the question I have before that, which is like a big picture question. If tomorrow the platform disappeared, the tours, the albums, the recognition, what part of your identity would remain untouched, and what part would be the hardest to let go of?
I mean, music in general would be very difficult to let go of for me, because it's such a part of who I am, and it's I feel it's part of my DNA, and it's like eating for me, or sleeping. It's so crucial to my health and my life. And if I didn't have music, I can't even imagine that. But if I didn't, for whatever reason, and everything came to an end, life would carry on. You know, it might be very strange for a while, but then I would come to terms with it and realize that there's more to life than what I do, you know, being music and touring. And it's nice to just go out and walk the dog or feed the cat or water the flowers or what have you. Those are all great things that I enjoy doing equally as much, and I don't get to do very often. So I would probably just, you know, I'm going to be 63 years old, so I would probably just enjoy the rest of my life and have a very simple life.
Yeah, you got to watch that cat, at least mine. You never know what they'll do. Okay, so I want to ask you about Stryper because I hear that you're working on an album. It may be finished now. And I've heard rumors that it's the best Stryper album yet. What do you say?
People tend to mock me when I say that, and I get it. I'd probably mock me too. Um, but they find the humor in that when I say it because I say it for every album. And I'll tell you why I say it. Number one, I mean it. I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. I'm a man of my word, and I only say what I mean. So I wouldn't waste the time or the effort or the words if I didn't mean it. So every album we do is our best album. We go in there and we work so hard, and our goal is to achieve greatness, and our goal is to outdo the last album. That's the goal with anybody. I don't feel our best has come yet. I think our best is yet to come, and someday it'll be here. But you know, it's not here yet. Maybe this album will be that, and I really believe it. I listen to it and I think, wow, this is a great album, and I think it's our best album for many reasons. But you know, that remains to be seen because the fans have to listen and decide. Sadly, quite a few fans really hold on to the past a little too much, and, you know, I can't tell you how many times I read the comment like, "Yeah, your classic stuff is the best," and I go back and I listen to it and I think, "Good lord, we've outdone that so many times."
Yeah.
In times 10.
Uh-huh.
It's like, I don't get it. A song like Yahweh, that's better than anything we did in the past. That's better than To Hell with the Devil and Soldiers in the Command by a landslide.
Uh-huh.
So why some people can't hear that, I don't know. I really don't. But our best is yet to come, and we're working on it. And this new album is really great, and I can't wait for people to hear it. It's all done. We turned it in just a few days ago.
Excellent. So we've been speaking today to Michael Sweet. Check out his new solo album, The Master Plan. You can find out more information about Michael Sweet at michaelsweet.com. And of course, we'll all be looking forward to the new Stryper album. Go to stryper.com. Don't buy merchandise on Temu. Get it at stryper.com. Michael Sweet, this has been a real honor. I hope to talk to you again sometime. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bruce. And that bums me out, man. I was just heading to Timu right now.
You know, actually, I checked last night. Fortunately, they're only selling albums, but about 6 months ago, they were selling Stryper t-shirts. Can you believe that?
Oh yeah, I believe it. If you go on Amazon right now and put in Striper and do a search, you're going to find all kinds of bootleg shirts. And we basically we have a team that spends every day writing to Amazon, asking them to pull them down, showing proof that we own the rights, we own the name, and they're still up. It's crazy the world that we live in. It's
It is.
insane.
Yeah. Yeah, because most of us can't get away with that, but somehow some people do. And especially the government of China somehow.
Blows my mind, but that's where we're at, and due to technology, it's a double-edged sword. It's great, but it's the most evil thing ever.
Yeah.
And it destroys a lot of lives and businesses and whatnot. But that's what are you going to do about it except continue to fight it?
Yeah. Well, Michael Sweet, you keep fighting. Thank you so much for being my guest this week.
Hey, thank you, brother. Have a good one.
You too.